Hey everybody, I'm Ben Higgins.
Hey, I'm Serena Pitt.
Hey, this is Blake Moynes.
Hey guys, I'm Brendan Scanzano.
Hi, this is Alana Milne.
Hey, I'm Lindsay Hamilton.
And you're watching The Bros Ceremony.
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 And you're watching Bros Ceremony.
And you're watching The Bros Ceremony.
This is The Bros Ceremony.
Your journey's about to begin.
Recapping the week that was in Bachelor Nation and previewing what's to come in the next episode with some special betting odds.
Everyone can't wait to find out what happens next week.
Here are your hosts, Michael the Hound Dog Harrison and Adam Scully.
Will you accept this rose?
Will you accept this rose?
Will you accept this rose?
This is not good. Hello and welcome inside episode 33 of the Bros Ceremony podcast. Adam Scully alongside Michael the Hound Dog Harrison. And, you know, Michael, for a brief moment last week, they kept us in suspense. Bachelor Nation, we thought paradise was shutting down. That's what I was referring to there. This is not good. Oh my God, our lives are in danger. Get off the island as soon as you can. Oh, wait, they're back on the next day. Classic Bachelor.
I'm glad you clarified that because I would not want someone to click on this episode for the very first time and go, oh, what's this Bro Ceremony show? And
That's not good.
This is not good. And they click away. They might not even be hearing this explanation. They're like, well, he's already told us it's terrible. So boom, gone within 2 seconds. But yes, what a dramatic and crazy and wild, insane storm that was. Oh my God. I thought they were in real danger. We'll get to that in a little bit, but oh my God, that was insane, Adam.
Well, speaking of storms, Michael, we had to push back the recording time of this interview. Is everything okay on the home front there?
Speaking of storm, that's a decent segue. Yeah, so I haven't ever inspected your shower rod before, but
whoa! You haven't inspected my shower rod before. That sentence was just said in the Bro Ceremony. Go on.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm brilliant. How is it hung up? Is it one of those ones like mine is basically based on the fact that it's held by what's the word I'm looking for? It's held by not friction. What's the word? It's not. Oh boy, I've really ruined this whole thing. It's held up by the fact that it's up against the wall on both sides, and it's pushing up against the sides of it. Okay. Anyway, I can't think of the damn word, which is driving me crazy. It's going to drive me insane. But anyways, that fell down today, which happens once in a Belgian blue moon. Good potential sponsor, by the way. Wow. That fell down on me in the shower today. So that's
fell on you.
It fell down on me because usually it's held up by. I had the word there for a second. It wasn't friction. It's held up by resistance. Maybe is that the word I'm thinking of? But it's held up and so it won't fall down. But like I said, every so often. It does kind of like, you know, you get a little bit loose and it fell down on me or whatever. A couple of the brackets that hold up the shower, they broke off. It was a disaster in my shower basically right now earlier. That's why I'm a little bit late. I apologize for that, Adam, but things were not good there for me there for a little while, but I am here and I'm excited to do this episode.
Okay, that was a lot to take in there. A lot to take in early in this episode.
Let me see if I can find this damn word.
Yeah, you do some research there, and I'll blabber on about what happened last week on Bachelor in Paradise because you know the teaser going to the episode, this whole storm, but before the storm, Kendall and Joe, they have another conversation, and Michael, I don't know if it was just me or I just wasn't into watching it that night, but. Again, like the first 30 or 40 minutes, it was sort of like a snooze festival. It was sort of like, okay, we get it. Kendall and Joe, you guys, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna, you know what? Sometimes relationships they just don't pan out. You know what? And Kendall left.
The word, by the way, was tension rod. It's a tension rod.
Oh,
so it's held up by tension on either side. So that's why it doesn't fall down.
Okay.
I couldn't think there was a lot of tension, maybe perhaps between Joe and Kendall. Good segue. It's pretty good. But yes, no, I agree that it wasn't overly interesting. I've actually, to be honest with you, I feel the last couple episodes, it's somewhat crawling toward the finish line here. Maybe it's the same amount of episodes as normal on the Bachelor in Paradise seasons. I'm not 100% sure. But I feel like it always would end in summer, basically, before, right? It would be maybe 4 or 5 episodes. So this is like 7, 8, 9 episodes, perhaps. So I guess maybe they don't have as much content there. But yeah, the Joe and Kendall stuff, it's like, yeah, we've already sort of gone over all this or whatever. Obviously, it sucks. It's, you know, you feel bad for Kendall because she clearly still has feelings for Joe. And I feel Joe probably also does as well, but he's also falling in love with Serena, so he's sort of caught in between, rock and a hard place, so to speak. But what I did notice that he was wearing, and I was curious to know your thoughts on this, because I know, as we know, you're a fashionista and you're an outfit tracker. Joe wearing socks and sandals on the beach. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a tough look. That's a tough look. I mean, on a beach, I mean, if you're about to go play hockey and you have the socks and sandals on, I respect that move. I can live with that move.
Why?
Because it's part of the guy. It's what you do, but not on a beach where there's sand. Like, you're gonna get sand in your socks. Socks are gonna get dirty. Like, and I mean, the storms are coming. It's gonna be wet sand. You gotta, it doesn't work.
Yeah, because like I said, they were like making out or whatever. And then the previous episode, we mentioned how they showed the shot of his socks, which obviously were like a ha ha ha. And then now this time wearing the socks and the sandals, I was like, I'm not a big fan of that one. I will say, of all the things that you've outfit tracked, that one I would agree is not the best look.
Now, Michael, I would call you yourself someone who loves to rock a good, fashion combo, whether you're doing the bros ceremony here on YouTube and Instagram, or if you're on the golf course. And often the socks you wear golfing are, when you're wearing shorts where you can see them, they're quite something. They're bold. They're a statement. But this past Friday, you had some green loudmouth pants on. Why don't you tell the viewers here your reasoning behind said outfit?
Well, it's just because the green shirt with the green loudmouth pants, with the black hat and the black shoes, it was just a perfect concoction of an outfit. I thought I actually used my regular shoes as opposed to my normal golf shoes just to be able to complete the outfit, because otherwise I would have gone black hat, green shirt, green shamrock pants, and blue shoes. It just would have been not as good, right? So I was like, you know what? Just for the sake of the outfit, I'm going to make sure it's just black, green, green, black. And I thought it looked spectacular. And I was up in a match against some buddies. We were tied on the 15th hole. I made like a 25-footer to tie the 15th hole to break their heart. We were one ahead on the last hole, my buddy Eric Rosales and I. And then they had like a 10-footer for birdie to potentially win the hole. I was chipping for birdie, and I made the birdie chip to break their heart and to beat them. It was the greatest. I love ruining people's lives in the golf course, Adam.
Well, and we have an exciting announcement that's coming out in the next couple of weeks, including golf. Looking forward to providing that. It's going to be a wild time, that's for sure. You know what? That's all I'm going to say about that. And
interesting. I like that, Adam. Also, by the way, I think I mentioned this before. It's past Labor Day. It's now into fall. I believe I've railed about this on previous bro ceremony before. Yes, I'm wearing a tan outfit right now. You are allowed, speaking of outfit tracking, you are allowed to wear whatever the hell you want. There's no the dumb unwritten rule or written rule, whatever it is, that you can't wear beige after Labor Day is absolutely ridiculous. So wear whatever the hell you want to wear is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you mentioned written and unwritten rules, and apparently, there are unwritten rules of paradise before, and Brendan and Piper are now off the beach. Allegedly, Brendan and Piper have actually now broken up.
Oh,
apparently they have unfollowed each other on Instagram, and Piper put out some posts on Instagram saying singularity. I don't know, but yeah, apparently that whole ordeal is bye-bye.
It's interesting because on the contrary, the other couple that caused controversy, who apparently didn't have like a relationship beforehand, but I guess they sort of knew each other a little bit. Past guest, Alana and Chris, I have seen her stories. She follows me, brag, that they are together. So, it seems like that couple did work out, but I didn't realize the Piper and Brennan one. Not good.
You just hate to see it. You just really hate to see it. But the couple's still on the beach. There are still, some working couples here, couples looking to find love. And as we continue to look back at last week's dramatic and thrilling episode, all seemed well on the beach. The next morning, everyone's sort of coupling up, relaxing, maybe having some breakfast, a mimosa. You good over there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It looked like
Tasty.
You were struggling. Okay.
Tasty Dr. Pepper. Yep.
Dr. Pepper. I love it. Never asked. And actually I did ask. So, it all seemed well on the beach. It was sunny, maybe a mimosa. And then Lil Jon shows up and says, I'm going to change everything. Dun, dun, dun. So in comes Ed, in comes DeMar. So two new men on the beach. It seems like, so DeMar takes Marissa for a nice stop and chat, as our good friend Larry David would say. But Damar elects to ask Chelsea on the date. Ed asks Natasha. Natasha, who of course was with Brendan. Then Brendan had that whole ordeal with Piper, the social media, yada, yada, yada. And then Natasha had the date with, what was the other guy's name?
Ed.
No, the other guy, the date.
Oh,
Doctor.
the doctor. Something.
Doctor.
Yeah.
We'll call him that. Yeah, doctor. Anyway, so on this date, they're painting portraits. I found it interesting. This was a double date. We really only saw Ed and Natasha through this double date.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very weird. They basically not much at all of Damar at all, which was weird. But I'm sorry, when you said one person's name here, it sort of dwarfed all the other names. I couldn't not be focusing on this name. He said, as Larry David would say, my God, he's everywhere nowadays. So excited, by the way. Curb Your Enthusiasm, season 11 coming out next month. But also,
soon,
he was at the very soon, I think. I'm not sure the exact date, but he was at the Los Angeles Rams game on Sunday. It seemed like Larry David's everywhere lately. I went from like never seeing him at all, and now he's everywhere. So, and his hair, obviously he's bald on the top, but his hair on the sides is super, super long. I love that he's leading really leading into that one. So, no, we'll go back to Bachelor now. But as soon as you say Larry David, I can't help but not be excited about Curb Your Enthusiasm coming back. Absolutely. But
Curb Your Enthusiasm, season 11, October 24th, 2021.
Okay. I'm very, very excited about that. Love that so much. We basically just saw Ed and Natasha. Ed, by the way, seems like an absolute registered Butron. By the way, confirmed by past guest and especially on last week, Brendan Scanzano, that he is an absolute beauty. Doesn't he just seem like the greatest guy ever?
I mean,
maybe not ever.
Yeah, that was quite a statement. I mean, maybe if and when we have Eddie the Eagle on our podcast, we'll welcome him in as, Ed Hound Dog Harrison called you the greatest human ever. Thoughts on that? We've just met on Zoom for 4 minutes, but that's fine. No, Ed seems like a good dude. He seems like, of course, Ed had that now much talked about scene with Chris Harrison on the last season of The Bachelorette, or 2 seasons ago, I guess. Yeah, two seasons ago of that, where he went in the wrong room and Chris Harrison was there and they shared a bottle of wine together. Also clear that Ed not one to skip upper body day in the gym, which seems like a common theme with those on the beach. But it seemed like Ed and Natasha were really hitting it off. My question to you, Michael, are you a big painter?
Wow, I was not expecting that question at all. I honestly cannot remember the last time I painted. Really? I know that I am the least artistic person in the history of the entire world. I'm absolutely brutal. I do remember a quick story when I was in grade 1, asking a couple of girls in my class to do my artwork for me, and they did it. So I did it decently in grade 1. I can't remember exactly the marks, but I do remember they used to do my art for me because I was so bad at art. So to answer your question, painter, me, not so much.
I look forward to writing your biography one day. Michael the Hound Dog Harrison hit his prime in grade 1.
Oh man, good times.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, so getting back to The Bachelor here. Yeah. So they have this date. It goes well. It seems like Natasha and Ed are really hitting it off. That's great. Natasha's had this, topsy-turvy time on the beach, if you will, with relationships, whatever. The next morning, though, again, things seem to be going well on the beach. Everyone's having their breakfast. Everyone's socializing, whatever. And these 2 human beings we've never seen before walk up. They have the earpieces in. Clearly, they're producers. And they say, guys, we got to go. We got to go right now. We have to, as soon as we have to pack up, we have to leave. We have to leave. Things are going to change. One day later, they're back. What a storm that was.
Insane, Adam. And it was like, okay, holy crap. The end of the world's upon us. It's over. We're all screwed. We're all going to die. But hold on. Let's have a little interview here first, just to document the fact that we're going to die here. But yeah, we are absolutely screwed. No chance. Everyone is going to be wiped out in a second. The show's over. There's never going to be Bachelor in Paradise ever again. All the equipment's going to be gone. But just hold on. Let's have a few more interviews. Let's have a little bit more discussion about the fact that we're all going to die. Okay. I guess then we had to leave for about 5 minutes. Yeah, it was so ridiculous. I knew it. I said that. I think I said on the last episode of the Bro Ceremony, the fact that the preview for the episode was this huge storm that was coming. It's like, is that your hook for the episode? You could show it a little bit, but it was a big part of the hook for the episode. I'm like, that's probably never going to be much. That almost never is as hyped, or sorry, it never lives up to the hype. The promo is pretty much right. So that definitely was a big time letdown.
I
And
totally.
thankfully they all survived.
Yeah,
Spoiler.
everyone survived. Everyone's back on the beach, and I'm gonna have to apologize to our audience here because I actually went out of order there. I skipped one of my notes by accident, and that was the so before the storm happens, the previous evening, I should say, the Kenny and Mari 1-on-1, where it involved tacos, it involved sour cream, it involved minimal to no clothing. What were your in my notes I literally wrote with 7 M's. I was sort of shocked by what was going on. Have you ever eaten tacos off another human being?
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna ask me the question, then I thought you weren't gonna, that you're gonna deviate from that question. Now you're getting back to the question, which was good. And this is my stall tactic because obviously I do it like it's a regular Tuesday for me. Taco Tuesdays, eating off naked human beings. That's a regular Tuesday for me. So yeah, to answer your question, absolutely every Tuesday of my life, Adam.
Okay, I like that. Now, are you a hard shell or a soft shell guy?
Absolutely soft shell. If you prefer hard shell over soft shell, you're a crazy monster. Not that hard shells are bad. Don't get me wrong, they're good. But if I'm saying if you have the choice of the two and you pick hard shells, I have to question your beliefs and thoughts in life.
Yeah, I you know what? When I was a youngster, I used to be a hard shell guy, but then made the transition to soft shell. I've never looked back. I can't remember the last time I had a hard shell taco.
You can't remember the last time you had a hard shell taco, or you can't remember the last time you had a hard shell taco off a naked human being?
I don't know.
Wow.
I can't remember.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so that was a very scrumptious, I suppose, date for them.
Yeah, things were escalating. Things were heating up.
I mean, I guess obviously it continues the on brand of Kenny being naked, and seems like, you know, after a little bit of turbulence, a little tumultuous, good word, relationship there in the middle with Demi getting in the way, with going with Kenny, and then Mari basically, her and Kenny splitting up sort of earlier in the process. It looks like they're one of the stronger couples there, perhaps.
Yeah, it really does. It's funny how things have changed, but I mean, good for Kenny, good for Mari. It seems like things are going down the right path. Will they continue? We'll have to wait and see where they go from here. But yeah, certainly a spicy 1-on-1 day. Now, getting back to the post-storm, world is ending moment. So they're back on the beach. The storms happen. They're back on the beach. All is well. And they decide, you know what? We're going right to the rose ceremony, starting with a cocktail party, the daytime cocktail party. I'm a big fan of this. I think they should do this more.
Well, I think they should just actually do rose ceremonies more, because the last few seasons of the show, it's all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason to any episodes. The rose ceremonies are all there's no actual structure to the show anymore. It's all askew, and I don't love it. I can't remember. Was the conversation that Riley had with Marissa after the storm? I think it was, right?
Yeah, there was a conversation with Riley and Marissa had, and also James and Tia, both that previous evening, which I may or may not have glossed over.
Oh, interesting.
But you can hit on either or both of them if you'd like.
I just thought that it seemed like, and now obviously they have their people on the show where they want you to love this person or they want you to hate this person. Clearly, Riley just seemed like an absolute stand-up dude. And Marissa was like, I want a little bit more for him. I want him to open up a little bit more. And his story about, his life or whatever, and why he is the way he is, it just seemed like an absolute stand-up guy, just an awesome dude. And obviously a big fan of Riley. I love that, because usually you expect most of the time when it's like, oh, I need to have this conversation, usually it kind of goes bad or goes off sideways a little bit, to where all of a sudden someone else comes in to ruin the whole thing. But no, it seemed like they're stronger than ever after that conversation, which was good. And then, yes, that's the main thing I'd written down for the rest of the episode, pretty much, was the James, Tia, and Blake love triangle.
Tatty daddy.
Tatty daddy. James seemed like an awesome dude. Everyone loves him. And you just can't find love on the island. And Tia was saying, and Tia has been pretty entertaining the last few episodes. I will say that he doesn't quite make her vajayjay dance, which is very, very funny. What do you think? Obviously she had a sort of a pseudo argument with Blake. Do you think she picks Blake, or do you think she picks James?
You know what? I think her gut is saying Blake, but her heart is saying James. That's what it seems like there's more of a spark, at least from what we've seen as a viewer with Taddy Daddy and Tia. There's more of a spark there. There's more of an immediate spark. Things are dancing, etc., like you mentioned. But it seems like James is just like not that Taddy Daddy isn't, but I feel like James is just seems like a stand-up guy. He's been on the island the whole time, hasn't really had the greatest of connections. It's sort of, they're making you want to root for him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, 1,000,000%. And that's exactly why he will not get the rose from Tia. Not in my estimation, not a chance at all that he will, because he probably should, because he is a stand-up guy, good, solid dude. But as she said, it doesn't quite, she's not as excited with him. So even though there was a seemingly out of nowhere kind of bizarre, like I said, pseudo argument between Tia and Blake, when Blake was extremely defensive, it was like, okay, what's going on? Is there something we missed? And it's possible as viewers, we did miss something. It just seemed like it's like, hey, dude, like chill out, man. Why are you so defensive over her just saying she wants more from you? It's like, why are you so defensive? But I still think they're setting it up to make it seem like, oh, James is the better guy. Blake is the one all over the place. Yet she's still going to pick James. She's still going to pick Blake. I'm sorry. I think 100%.
Yeah, I'm curious what happens. And we should mention, Michael, tonight's episode 3 hours long, an extravaganza, 3 hours long. I'm looking forward to it. But before we get to tonight's episode, last week's episode ended on kind of like, it's sort of things came out of nowhere again, because, Chelsea was on that date with DeMar earlier on. Not really much of a spark there, but Chelsea and Aaron, who was on our good friend Brendan Scanzano's season of The Bachelorette with Katie Thurston, him and Chelsea had a good connection, and they were talking, and it seemed like Ivan was sort of sniffing around a little bit, and then Ivan sort of asked Chelsea to go for a chat. It seemed like they were sort of in a friend zone, and then something happened where a bit of a spark went off, some fireworks perhaps. But the way the episode ended, it looked like Ivan and Aaron were going to go toe to toe. So Michael, heading into tonight's 3-hour extravaganza, do we see a scrap tonight? What do you think?
Well, like I said, a lot of times these previews, it's more hype than it actually ends up turning out to be. But I am actually legitimately curious about this one, because it's something to do with Ivan in a hotel or something. He did something maybe wrong when the storm was going on. It's like, oh my God, what could he possibly have done? So I will say that preview for tonight's episode does seem pretty, it's like, whoa, what the hell did he do? So, but yeah, my guess is they didn't have a scrap, because the fact that he actually is being talked to by Wells later on. So if if they would have like actually fought each other, that probably would never have happened. But by the way, I wrote down about Wells, because obviously he has all these conversations with all these different people. Do you think 100% the producers give Wells all these bullet points to talk to them about, or do you think it's just actually natural that he's just asking them these questions?
I feel like it has to be a bit of a mix. It seems like, from watching it, he seems like a really stand-up good dude, but I feel like the producers have to be feeding him some information, because like obviously like he's everyone's therapist, I guess. Like people go to talk to him about that, right? Confidant would be a good word for that. That's a better word for it. This week's word of the episode: confidant. And it seems like Wells Adams
and tumultuous. Don't forget that word.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It seems like Wells is everyone's confidant. I guess you could say that. But Wells has been doing just a good job of being just a regular, good human being, good host of the rose ceremonies. Some talk about maybe Wells will step into that role again in future Bachelorette seasons. Some talk about that. But Ivan also did say on social media, after whoever gets my first interview after Paradise is going to get gold. So,
oh yes, I did see that as well online. It's like, whoa, yeah. So I will say, oftentimes it's like, okay, that doesn't actually really pan out. It doesn't seem to be all that interesting as it looked like it would be. But I am actually very much intrigued by what happens here with Ivan, because yay.
And it seemed like it came out of nowhere too. I mean, we've known Ivan, being on Claire and Tayshia's season of The Bachelorette, and this season of Bachelor in Paradise, he seems like a pretty calm, just regular dude, and something set him off, or set Aaron off. And I think we'll see. I don't know. Like in Paradise in the past, we've seen guys almost go at it a couple of years ago. But you know what, Michael? As we've said many times on this show, only time will tell. That's right. But 3-hour episode tonight. Second last episode, because the Bachelor in Paradise season finale a week from today. And I believe that's also 3 hours long. The same day as Wild Card Tuesday in the AL. Is it just the AL or is it both the NL? Just the AL.
AL, and then the next day, I believe, is the National League. So hopefully the Toronto Blue Jays are in that wild card game, because that would obviously be amazing.
Yes. And you know what, Michael, I mean, who knows? Maybe there'll be some bro ceremony content coming out that evening. Maybe there'll be a split screen. Maybe there'll be an Instagram Live. Maybe we'll have past guests on said Instagram Live. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. It's 1 week from today, the Bachelor in Paradise finale. But first tonight, 3 hours, second last episode of the season. I'm expecting fireworks. Some housekeeping notes, of course, Michael, before we sign off on episode 33 here of the Bros Ceremony, the Cam Talbot edition. You like that one? Of the Bros Ceremony. Michael, of course, you are the host of the H-Dog pod. And rumor has it, you had a guest on recently. Tell us about him or her.
Yes, my former roommate, Grace Leader. Great discussion about reality shows. Big Survivor fan, and she's on the Rob has a podcast network. We're talking about a lot about Survivor, a little bit of Big Brother as well, some Blue Jays discussion, a lot of great talk about that. But yeah, she's a huge Survivor fan like I am. Obviously, the show hadn't been on in about 18 months or something like that. So a lot of great discussion about what happened on the premiere episode and what's to come in the upcoming season here. And so that was truly a fun catching up with her, because it had been maybe probably 4 or 5 years or something around, maybe 5 years or so since my God, 5 years. Yeah.
God,
I guess it's been that long. My God, I'm old and time flies. But yeah, it was a great discussion on the H-Dog pod. Subscribe anywhere you listen to your podcasts. Man.
There you go. The H-Dog pod. Find it wherever you find your favorite podcast. Well, Michael, we've now done 33 episodes of the Bros Ceremony. It's been a fun ride. I'm looking forward to bringing you thousands and thousands and thousands more. We discuss in depth detail some of what goes on Bachelor Nation on the week that was, and going forward, what's going to happen that evening. Of course, Bachelor in Paradise Canada, the Sunday of Canadian Thanksgiving, October 10th, just around the corner. And now previews are out. We're seeing some members who are on Bachelor and the Bachelorettes from this past season. Some people we haven't seen before. Some people who are on Bachelor Canada. Of course, our good friend Brendan Scanzano on this season. Looking forward to seeing Brendan's latest and next journey to find love. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely scrumptious. That's for sure. Michael, before we sign off for the day, I always love to ask you, any final thoughts on what went on last week and what's going to happen this week? Or any final thoughts on anything?
Thank goodness. I truly was thinking you might have signed off there. And I was like,
I was close. I was going to throw you a curveball. I know. I knew you were ready for it, and I like to ask you a question.
So I do have some final thoughts. Actually, it's not necessarily about the Bachelor. Well, it kind of relates to the Bachelor series of shows. Obviously, we've discussed before how the finale of Tayshia's season, where she was, deciding between 3 men and who was going to be the winner. You spoiled the winner on me by texting me. Oh, well, let's have Tayshia. What's the guy's name again? The guy that wanted her. Zach. Yeah, you ruined it by telling me, oh yeah, Zach won, or let's get Zach and Tayshia on the podcast. So obviously he was the winner. Then you had 7 texts in a row. So we've gone ad nauseum over the fact that you've done that as a spoiler. So now I'll do it a little bit of a lighter spoiler, but still a spoiler nonetheless. I texted you on the Saturday because I was going to Woodbine Racetracks, which was a lot of fun, by the way. I'm not a horse racing guy at all, but it is tons of fun going there. Just for it's 10 different races. It was from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Awesome time. We definitely have to go with the Bros Ceremony. Has to go. It's amazing. But I was PVRing the Ryder Cup Golf because I was at the Woodbine Racetracks, and I said, no spoilers. No spoilers at all. You send me a text with a video from Twitter, and I say, is this a spoiler, Adam? You say, no problem at all. Okay, so I click on the video. It is Daniel Berger and Justin Thomas, both American golfers, celebrating after the morning. It was in the afternoon, so I knew it was after their morning matches, drowning a bunch of beers. Now, to your credit, I said, probably no surprise. Daniel Berger and Justin Thomas, they both won their matches. No. Berger did lose his match. But having said that, Americans drowning a bunch of beers, celebrating, there's probably a reason they're celebrating Adam, and that's probably because they are way ahead in the matches, which they were in the morning of the Thursday. Sorry, after the Friday round. So basically, you spoiled it again. The fact that the Americans were doing great. So when will you learn? My question to you is, when will you learn, Adam, to not spoil anything? When I say, is this a spoiler? No spoilers. When will you learn?
Okay, couple of things here. They each had a beer. They weren't drowning in beers. First,
no, they were drowning beers. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I heard that wrong. I like that expression, drowning beers. So I just pulled up the text conversation here. We're not going to publish this for obvious reasons, but so I send this. Is this a spoiler? It is not. Then you say, guess what, Adam? Why are they celebrating? Maybe because they won their morning matches. Cool pal. Do not confirm this. And then I said that might be the case. It might not. Daniel Berger did not win his morning match.
I did say that to you. I did say just right now, if you were paying attention, I was paying attention there, Adam. But yes, to your credit, Daniel Berger did not win his match. But if Americans are celebrating drowning beers, there's probably a reason they're celebrating. There's probably something worth celebrating, which is the fact that they're way ahead in the competition. And turns out I was right when I was watching. I'm like, oh, what a shocker. The Americans are now winning. Thanks, Adam.
Or they were thirsty.
Now, it would be a crazy story if they were drowning beers when they had lost their matches and they were just like so upset about it. Now, that would have been a story.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm pretty sure they're all hamming up for the crowd, having beers. That's like, oh, Adam. Oh, Adam.
What are you going to do with me? I mean, I'll just never learn. Me and spoiling things is just something that happens. Yeah.
That's my final thoughts.
That's your final thought.
Spoiler.
Yeah, that's me. Adam Scully. Adam, spoiler, Scully. Well, on that note, episode 33 of the Bros Ceremony. Thanks to all for following us on Twitter, following us on Instagram, subscribing to us on YouTube. Some great view numbers over the last week on our Bros Ceremony social media channels. And looking forward to bringing you our episode next week, episode 34, the Mika Kiprasov edition, where we discuss the Bachelor in Paradise finale, the preview. Can't wait to see what happens there. For Michael the Hound Dog Harrison, I'm Adam Scully. Thanks so much for joining us right here on the Bros Ceremony.